The leaders of the apartheid and BDS movements may talk peace, justice, and ending the occupation. However, their real goal seems to be the vilification, delegitimization, and obliteration of Israel as a Jewish state by branding it the pariah of the international community. From their statements, their goal is not to advance Palestinian rights, but to deny and strip Israel of its rights. Israel is the only country constantly to be singled out for opprobrium by groups such as the Israel Apartheid Week and BDS. If its organizers were truly interested in human rights, going from worst to best, wouldn't a better starting point be to hold an Arab Apartheid Week? An Arab Apartheid Week to protest for human rights abuses in any number of Arab and Muslim countries: Libya, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Egypt, Iran, Turkey, Yemen, Pakistan, Nigeria, Iraq, the Sudan or Jordan, where people are being jailed, tortured and often killed fighting for their human rights. The irony is that in Israel, despite problems in Israel as in any other country, Arabs enjoy more rights, freedoms and liberties than do their neighbors in any number of Middle East countries currently fighting for these very same privileges. Arab-Israeli journalist Kadaber Toama repeatedly says, Israel is not an apartheid state. Israel is a free and open democratic country. I enjoy living here and I would rather live as a second-class citizen in Israel, even though I'm not, than a first-class citizen in any Arab country. The real apartheid today is in places such as Saudi Arabia, where the government totally forbids the public practice of non-Muslim religions. The presence of a Bible there officially labels both Christians and Jews unbelievers, and cautions in the Quran Muslims not to befriend Christians or Jews. Iran routinely executes, tortures and persecutes Baha'is, Sunnis and Kurdish minorities. Since 1979 over 200 Baha'is have been executed by Islamic government agencies in Iran. The Islamic government has destroyed Baha'i holy places, burned Baha'i homes, denied Baha'is access to education and spread propaganda throughout the country labeling Baha'is as spies, terrorists and the like. Turkey denies the Armenian genocide. The Armenian genocide was carried out by the Young Turk government of the Ottoman Empire in 1915 to 1916, with subsidiaries to 1922 to 23. 1.5 million Armenians were killed, out of a total of 2.5 million Armenians, in the Ottoman Empire. Turkey continues to harass and persecute its Alevis, Kurds, Zoroastrians and other minorities. The persecution of Kurds in Turkey, Iran, Syria, Iraq is without contemporary equivalent in Europe, yet is condoned by the silence of Western powers. In both Saudi Arabia and Iran, women and homosexuals are stripped of their rights, as the United Nations grants Saudi Arabia a seat on the UN Human Rights Council, and Iran with a seat on the UN Commission on the Status of Women. In Lebanon, Muslim apartheid policies forbid blacks from entering swimming pools. Palestinians are banned from working in many professions. There is institutionalized discrimination against Palestinians in Lebanon. Egypt continues to persecute its Coptic Christians and torch their churches. Jordan last year revoked the citizenship of thousands of Jordanian Palestinians, and still denies citizenship to Jews. Iraq continues to persecute and murder members of its Christian Chaldean and Assyrian population. Over the past century many Kabyles have been killed for accepting Jesus, and persecution continues today, though the Kabyle Church continues to grow. In Gaza, Islamist organizations, empowered by the indifference of the authorities, have begun to target Christian institutions and individuals in Gaza, with increasing impunity. Intimidation, assault and the threat of kidnapping are now part of daily reality for Christians. In the West Bank, Bethlehem, at one time a majority Christian town, is now less than a third Christian. Nazareth has also seen its Christian community shrink substantially. The plight of Palestinian Christians throughout the West Bank and Gaza are among the most underreported stories of Christian persecution in the Middle East. We must defend our free societies whose moral, cultural and economic foundations are under attack by leftist and Islamist enemies at home and abroad. This video was brought to you by Honest View.